Alright, tiramisu. You got, well, it's pretty simple dessert. What's it called? Well, it's relatively simple in terms of the ingredients, but it takes a little while to make, so you want to make it a little while in advance. Ideally, you're going to end up refrigerating this for overnight. So make it the day before some special event, and you'll be good to go. So we're going to need, hardware-wise, you're going to need a whisk or electric mixer. Since I can't afford or can't buy an electric mixer, I'm going to hate my life a little bit when it comes to whipping the eggs, but I'll explain that once you get there. You also need a fat bowl to whip the egg whites and the egg yolks in. Make sure it's clean, free of any residue, because if you have like even the slightest bit of oil residue in there, your eggs aren't going to whip up, and you'll be whipping forever, regardless of whether you have a whisk or electric mixer or not. So you need these two. You're also going to need a bowl for your eggs, right? And like a bowl to actually put your tiramisu in. I had a neat glass bowl, but I couldn't find it really anywhere, so I'm going to use this plastic one. But you want a clear one just for presentation purposes, because you actually see the layers once you layer it up. Right? So in terms of ingredients, you're going to need 2 eggs. Ideally, they're going to be room temperature. It'll help the egg whites and egg yolks whip up. So 2 eggs, room temperature. You got some espresso here. Now, I ordered about like 12 shots of espresso from Coffee Bean, and they looked at me like I was crazy, but you probably won't need this much. It really depends on lady fingers, what kind of lady fingers they are. If they're soft, they'll obviously soak up less espresso. If they're dry like these, then you're going to need a little bit more espresso. I don't think I'll be needing 12 shots though, but I aim somewhere around 12 shots, probably around like a cup, a little more than a cup or so. So about a cup of espresso here. You got 7 tablespoons of sugar. This turns out to be a little less than half a cup. So sugar right here. You also need a cup of mascarpone cheese. I got these at Trader Joe's, and it's fairly cheap. So you need 2 tubs as a cup. In terms of lady fingers, apparently you can find them at Trader Joe's. I looked everywhere, and I ended up finding them at Bristol Farms. So that's where you can find that. All right. Oh, also cocoa powder. If you want to do a little presentation towards the end, I'll show you that. So put these aside right now. What you want to start with is separating your eggs. Alright, so what's it called? Easy way to do them is just do them by hand. You can buy a fancy egg separator and all that junk, but you can just use your hands. It's totally fine. Alright, so separate them by hand. Good to go. And then, what's it called? I don't have a bowl for this, so let me get one real quick. Alright, you also want to have a bowl for your egg yolks as well, so my bad. Alright, separate your egg yolks. If you want to learn how to crack an egg one-handed, you just gotta practice. It's like a kind of like a Spocky kind of motion with your hands. You want to kind of open up with your fingers. It's kind of hard to describe. I'm sure you can look it up on your own. Not gonna waste your time. So you got separated egg yolks and egg whites. All right. So first things first, you want to whip up your egg yolks. So put the egg yolks everywhere, your egg whites. So put your egg yolks aside. Pour your egg whites right in this fat bowl here. Make sure it's all good. Now you're going to whip it until what's called stiff peaks. Alright, now I'll show you what that looks like later on, but it's going to take a little while for me to do this, so I'm just going to do this like freaking off camera, cut and all that junk. But in terms of your whipping, a lot of people, like I saw a guy like stir when I asked him to whip it. Don't stir. You want to have like a circular motion. What you're doing is whipping air into the mixture here. Alright, so basically stiff peaks. If you ever seen a meringue pie, basically what you want is, if you dip your whisk in the egg white mixture and pump it up, you'll literally have the egg whites make like literally peaks. You'll see, I'll show you guys. So when this becomes soft peaks, which is the stage before stiff peaks, you want to add about half of the sugar in the mix and then continue whipping it. Alright, so I'm going to hate my life for a little bit while I whip this, but I'll be right back and we'll carry on. Alright, so I'll show you guys something real quick. I'm about halfway through. It's been about 2 minutes. My forearm is killing me right now, but basically, I'm not sure if you can see it, but if I, bring my whisk out of the mix, I'll see what's known as soft peaks. Basically, it won't be like stiff up like a mountain. It would just be like as you want in stiff peaks. It would just it'll come up but fall over. That's what soft peaks, right? So this is where I add about half my sugar mix. It really doesn't matter which. It really doesn't matter, but you want to add about half, just about, because you're gonna add the rest of your egg yolks when you do this anyways. So I'm gonna carry on, and I'll be right back. All right, so it's been about 3 minutes since I last stopped the camera. So right now, as you can see, it looks a little more meringue-like. All right, so once right now, you can't really see it, but I got some stiff peaks going on. So again, I'm not sure if you can see it, but here they are. All right, so at this point, you want to add your mascarpone. So go ahead and put this aside. Mascarpone cheese, I'm actually not sure what it's used for exactly. I know it's Italian. Oh, this is Italian dessert. I know it's good on your bagels and in tiramisu. Otherwise, I'm really not sure what it's used for. Hey, but it's good because you wouldn't be watching this video otherwise. So you plop that in there. You want to use a spatula, make sure you get everything, because as you can see, it tends to stick. So make sure you get everything there. Again, I think I got these at Trader Joe's for like $2 or $3, if that. It's not terribly expensive. All right, so go ahead. Plop that in. Once you've done that, use your spatula to fold these in. Folding is different than stirring, only because when you stir, you're mixing everything all like forceful-like, right? What's called. For folding in, it's a very gentle process. You want to gently fold this into each other, so the whole mix. It's not stirring, as I said before, it's just you're folding ingredients all together. Alright? So you want to fold until they're all incorporated and good to go. As you can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but it might be a white mess on camera, I'm not actually sure, but from where I'm standing, you can see a lot, like you see some parts where it's egg whites only, you see some parts where it's mascarpone cheese. Alright, so make sure it's one smooth mixture. Make sure you get the stuff on the sides too, so use spatula edge and get that stuff on the sides. So gently fold it together. And this is going to be the heart of your tiramisu, or tiramisu. This is going to layer in between the, what's called, espresso soaked ladyfingers that we're going to do. Alright, so make sure you get that folded in all nice. Alright, so I'm going to scoop this to another bowl, wash out this bowl since we only have one of them, and we'll whip up the egg yolks. It's going to be the same deal as before, but I'll show you how to do that in a couple minutes. Alright, so we're back. What we're going to do is whip up our egg whites, egg yolks right now. As you can tell, they're kind of, they're bright orange yellow kind of deal, what you're used to, right? So pop in that bowl. Again, make sure that it's totally clean, free of any residue, and otherwise it's gonna be there's some kind of weird chemical reaction that happens. All right. So what I'm gonna do, got my whisk, add the rest of the sugar. All right, and basically you want to whip it until the egg yolks are like pale and stiff. All right, and rule of thumb is once you think you're done, you're not quite done yet, because you can. If you whip it a little more, it'll get a little more pale, a little more stiff. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll show you the end results. Alright, so it's been about a couple minutes. It shouldn't take as long as the egg whites to do. As you can see here, the egg yolks are practically white. They're a very pale yellow. Alright, from here, what you want to do is fold in, again, about half your egg whites is first. Your egg white mascarpone mixture. So make sure fold that in until it's nice and incorporated. Once you're done with this, you can fold in the other half, obviously. So, and after this, we'll move on to my favorite part of the whole thing is the espresso soaked ladyfingers. It's good. It's good. All right, so get that all in there. Fold it in all nice. It's a very gentle motion. You're not like killing or anything like that. So just fold it in. You shouldn't have streaks of yellow and white. It should just be all together. Alright, by right now you should have this gooey mixture, almost pancake batter like its consistency, and a little paler in color as well. We're setting this to the side and do my favorite part. So actually, start with this. Plop a good heaping spoonful in your container, just so you can cover the bottom. Tiramisu is a layered dessert, as you know. So, I'm not sure if you noticed, but we're not cooking the eggs at all. If you're kind of paranoid about the whole salmonella thing, then you can get your eggs like fresh out of like the farm, and you'll be fine there. So, how I've done in the past, a lot of people tend to like what's called less of the cream and more of the espresso. So that's what I'm trying to do here. You want like a good balance though. You want too much cream, you don't want too much espresso either. So set this aside, have your mixture here, alright? This is what you're going to do with your lady fingers. Get your bowl of espresso. Make sure it's room temperature, otherwise you're going to burn yourself, alright? So you got espresso, these are your lady fingers here. As you can see, they're harder lady fingers, alright? So make sure you soak it in here, push it down. Make sure you want to saturate them until they're basically falling apart. That's the degree you want to saturate them, alright? So in there, it's in there. It might take a few seconds depending on your lady fingers, alright? Drain off the excess. It's falling apart in my hands right now, alright? So go ahead and layer it in there. And just do this like ad nauseum, alright? Put 2 or 3 at a time at least if you want. You don't want to squeeze out the excess or anything, just let it fall out. Because if anything, it's just to add more flavor to your dessert. Some people might want to add Kahlua or rum or brandy or some kind of darker hard alcohol to this. It's perfectly fine too. I just don't have any right now, so that's why I'm choosing not to do it. But for those of you under 21 who are watching, it's perfectly fine to do without alcohol. It tastes just fine. So, should get a good layer in. So I got a fat layer going on. I might stick like one more in there. So remember, you can't oversaturate these things because they'll just drain off themselves. You want them as saturated as possible so you get the most espresso flavor out of it. Alright, that could actually use a more soaking. Alright, so here I have a layer of espresso, layer of mascarpone and layer of espresso. Alright, from the looks of it, yeah, I might want to go with like a little bit more layer because you want about even. So if I got about like an inch of this, I want about an inch of this. Alright, so I'm doing a little bit more espresso, ladyfinger action. What I'm going to do after that, I'm going to add another layer of mascarpone, and then another layer, actually, you want to sprinkle a little bit of cocoa powder, or chocolate even. If you have chocolate shavings, that works great too, but you want too much, just kind of let it drop in. Probably you got to just sift this before, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, just a little bit, it's going to be fine. What you're going to do after this, layer another layer of mascarpone right up on here, another layer of what's called ladyfingers. You want to end, regardless of how big your container is, you want to end with a layer of mascarpone. Alright, be it thin or thick, whatever you want to do, but you want to end with a layer of mascarpone. Alright, so I'm going to do that. I'll show you what I had before I put it in the fridge. Alright, so I actually end up using the rest of my espresso, so that's 12 shots down the drain there. So here's my second layer. It's nice and fat. I just use the rest of my espresso. All right, do a little cocoa powder. Again, if you have chocolate, like, it's gonna be money right there. All right, little cocoa powder. You can sub. One thing I forgot to mention is you can sub coffee if you want, but it won't be as strong. The flavor won't be as much as a kick in the mouth. So I do recommend espresso. All right. If you do get espresso, I recommend like making it yourself at home, because I spent like $8 at Coffee Bean to get freaking 12-shot espresso, something like that. I don't know. So I recommend if you're gonna make this a lot, make your espresso at home. It's cheaper. All right. So another layer of mascarpone. And this recipe's for about a container this big. I think it might be, I'm actually not sure how big it is, but you can kind of gauge it for yourself. If you have any extra, next time you make it, cut it in half, or do whatever you want. But I've also seen it presented in a way that you got little, I won't say shot glasses, but they're shot glass size. As soon as I get this done, I'll show you guys. But you get like a shot glass size, kind of like personalized tiramisus, which is pretty neat, especially if you have a big dinner party. You want to just make a big recipe like this, and just make individual tiramisus. Saves you the trouble of sharing, because that gets awkward. All right, so especially with the swine flu and all that junk, so you don't want any of that. So it doesn't have to be perfect, because as you can see, I'm out of tiramisu. Oh, sorry, I'm out of mascarpone. It doesn't have to be perfect. As soon as you get that, toss that in the sink. Do a little. Actually, I'll wait for the cocoa powder dusting, because this is a top layer. All right, I'm gonna cover this real quick. Got some lid here, saran wrap, same deal. All right, cover this, refrigerate, ideally overnight, but anywhere from, I hear 6 hours is good too, but best results are the longer term. All right, so refrigerate this. I'll show you guys the the finished product tomorrow morning. All right, so it's been almost about a day here. It's like what, 20 hours. All right, so this is what it looks like. I'm not sure if you can see, but hold on. No. There you go. Alright, so the cream, mascarpone mixture, firmed up. That's really all the refrigeration is doing. It's firming up the cream here. So that's all firmed up, ready to go. Alright, so yeah, if you want to sprinkle some more cocoa powder on here, it makes it look cool. Also, if you get like a regular Hershey's chocolate bar and a vegetable peeler, all you gotta do is literally peel the chocolate, and they'll create these like nice little curls, these little chocolate curls, and it looks awesome. All right, so chocolate curls, cocoa powder. I got like some Mexican hot chocolate here, Abuelita. Where is it? This stuff. It's actually like spiced hot chocolate, but it's actually pretty good too. It's like cinnamony kind of chocolate kind of mixture. So that's good as well. But any kind of chocolate creates a contrast of color, contrast of taste. So we're gonna enjoy. Oh, one more thing. What I was talking about, the little individual serving glasses before. This is what I was talking about. You probably don't want a dark color like this one. You want like a lighter color, so you can actually see the layers and see the colors of the tiramisu. All right. So that's pretty much it. Got any questions? Let me know. Otherwise, enjoy.
Vlog siya pero hindi na ako makawali ay kamamiyana siya na sila sa lang na paano ano ba ayo about paano about lang ka na pipilay lagi ang tanong ko video na to sa gigit na lang. Ha? May? Hindi siya? Satu ba niya? Gigit siya niya kaya mo lagi po. Satu gigit. Ini alis tengah. Ang kita. Hello? Ano? Tadi kumaku. Ano? Ayo kawin. Ha? May na. Kinsan mo born anak ka. Ay na born ay USB ron. Na ikaw lang dali din. Kabong sa to. Ya, semua matanong ka man mo mag kuno sa man ka mag-edit. Ugma. Karon na oy, wala ka na. O sige mato ko. Amo ah? Law ko bagay gibilin pa pang laptop. Sige lang. Bukod sa mo dito. Oh. Kab normal sige din. Wala ni gano. Baka mo na lang din mag-edit. Ay si Iding nalay pa editan ni. Iboto. At may bitaw ka. Tapoy lagi. Tapoy may edit atang inunity na dagan kay kuan. Pagay ko dito. Klase na. Dito na di uyab ay manan. Manisya.
How to make dough for roti? Put some atta, water, some more water.
In this video, I'll be showing how to make a bullpup style airsoft machine gun out of a soda bottle. This project only requires 4 parts. We have 1 plastic soda bottle, we have a 1/4-inch quick release air compressor adapter, 1 air compressor blowgun, and one 7mm by 6-inch long brake line. The first step will be to take the quick release adapter and thread it into the blowgun. The tip of the blowgun should then be threaded out for the next step. A hole should now be drilled into the side of the bottle about an inch down from the bulged area at the top. This hole should be made just barely large enough to fit the back end of the threaded nozzle piece that we took off of the blowgun. The nozzle is now placed inside of the bottle. Using a metal file or another straight piece of steel or wood, the nozzle is directed into the hole in the side of the bottle from the inside. The rod that is used to direct the nozzle tip into the hole is then left in place so that it prevents the tip from spinning as we screw the blowgun back onto it. Tightening the blowgun down onto the nozzle tip will secure it to the bottle. At this point, the cap on the bottle is taken and a hole is drilled through the center of it just large enough that the threads on our brake line will screw into it. The line is pulled through so that it fully extends toward the inside of the cap. A bead of hot glue holds the line in place. The bottle is now filled about halfway with airsoft pellets and the barrel is screwed in place. For now, this project is complete. Let's take it outside and give it a test.